Good morning. What's up? Happy Thursday. It's Hobby Evolution episode 297. We are run close to the end of the month, May 27th already. Only 2 work days from my home office, and then I have to make the walk. It feels like going back into prison. I'm on the fifth floor, confined to my desk. I'm not looking forward to it. I like just walking 10 steps, getting some fresh air. Oh, it's going to be an adjustment. But let's move on to better things. Vegetable gardens. I planted the vegetable gardens yesterday. I think this is the latest since what's up, Dan? Good morning. I think this is the latest I've planted a garden since we started planting gardens about 6 years ago. Usually I wait. I do it the weekend after Mother's Day because what I learned early on, like the first 2 years, I would plant like where I grew up. It was like Mother's Day, like in Illinois, central Illinois. Mother's Day weekend was like garden. That's when you planted your garden because there was going to be no more frost afterwards. A few hours north in Wisconsin. And in those first 2 years, we seemed to always get a frost right after Mother's Day. It's like the last frost of the year. So learned my lesson and waited until May 20. Well, today's the 27th, May 26th. And as I'm like, I finished the garden up, planted the garden. My wife and I were sitting on the patio talking about the weekend, what was going on. And I said, well, if it doesn't rain on Saturday, I think I'm going to finally make my bike trip to Mount Horeb. And so I get my phone out, look at the weather app, and it's going to be freaking cold the next couple days. So it was a beautiful day yesterday. It's been 80 and sunny. Yesterday was like the perfect day. So I look at my phone. It's currently right now it's 48 degrees. Today's high is 52. 50 freaking 2. That sucks for May 27th. Tomorrow it's going to rain and the high tomorrow is 48. So we've got an overnight low of 39, Saturday 37, Sunday 39. So not quite frost, but actually those low temps, well, we might see some frost in some places. I don't know, but I mean, it's not like I can wait much longer to plant. I guess I could, but I don't want to. I'm impatient. Um, Mark, what's up, Mark? Mark says it's 90 and humid in Boston. That's my type of weather. That is my type of weather. What's up, Brad? Good morning, George. So back to real life soon. I've been there since the start of the pandemic. Yeah, it sucks. I like parts of it. I don't like parts of it. So overall, I'm not looking forward to the reality of going into an office. So I planted the garden yesterday afternoon. I did 4 tomato plants. I think I did 2 cherry tomato plants. I did San Marzano. I think those are Roma tomatoes, and then like a beefsteak type. What's up, Matt? Good morning. So I did those. I did a basil, did a lavender. I planted bugs away. They keep rabbits. They're supposed away. I haven't had a rabbit issue with my vegetable garden, but we have a flower garden that's just a few steps into the backyard, and the bunnies love the flower garden. They won't go near my vegetables, which is great. So maybe the marigolds work. Maybe we'll have to plant some marigolds around our flower garden. So I have tomatoes, and then in the other garden I did 3 cucumber plants. I did 2 pickling cucumber plants, and then a slicer cucumber with a couple dill plants. And I use those. I make my own pickles. So I kind of like to mix up different types of cucumbers to make different pickles. So that's what I planted. I think that did it. There's a nursery just down the street, just down the road from me, about a mile. It's right next to the Quick Trip. Right next to the Quick Trip. K&A Nursery, it's just an awesome, they actually like expanded, they built, so they had like 2 greenhouses and then like a small yard basically of stuff. And then I think last year was when they opened up, so they have like huge acreage, and so like behind where the greenhouses were, they built huge greenhouses and they have a lot of space. It's way better than their old setup, and they have a ton of stuff. So it's fun, but they didn't have, I was looking for maybe some like green beans. I like lettuce. I like to plant lettuce. But if I did that, and actually I downsized the plots this year. So in the past I've done 2 4x8s. And I get kind of the cheap ones, and with lumber prices, I was concerned buying new garden beds this year. But I bought a couple of 8x2s from Wayfair, and they're actually sturdier, more solid than the last couple boxes that I've used. I destroyed the last boxes with the lawn aerator. Had a little more power than I was expecting, and ran right into the side of the garden boxes. What's up, Brian? Good morning. Thanks, Brad. Got a cut yesterday. Low 80s in Texas. Tomatoes and habaneros is all I plant. I thought about doing, I usually do, I did a jalapeno last year because a friend of mine loves, I make a spicy pickle. And thank you, Herman, for reminding me, because he's like, I'll pay you. He liked him so much. He's like, I'll buy like, he's like, I'm serious. I'll buy like 20 jars from you. So I need to plant some jalapenos. I like using the only thing I don't use from the garden is the garlic. Everything else, the dill, the cucumbers, and I guess that's about it. So the garlic I buy, and then, some of the spices, obviously. So that's the pickles. George had some marigolds. It was called a 20 gauge. Rabbit is tasty. I've had rabbit, but it was a long time ago. It's been a long time since I've had a rabbit. So that was my vegetable gardening yesterday afternoon, last night. Talk a little bit about eBay. So I ran some I've noticed my sales are like way down, and it was kind of by design. So I've listed, I haven't done the bulk listing where what's up, David? I haven't listed, 500 items in a week, but I still consistently list. And instead of 500 a week, it's maybe 100 to 200 a week. So I'm still pumping the store. At the height, like after my big, so I did a couple of big eBay listing dumps from File Exchange about 2 months ago. So my listings were up to like 4,200 for a short time, but I mean, it like immediately people just, I couldn't keep up with sales. I mean, it was crazy. ComC actually got some of my cards uploaded today. Wow, very nice. So now my listings are, I think I'm like right around 3,200, which up until like my big File Exchange dumps was pretty average. So I've been keeping consistently updating a lot of newer stuff, like the Bowman stuff I'm picking out of bargain boxes. So I'm constantly refreshing my inventory and putting more cards in, but I'm noticing my sales are just dropping, and I'm not receiving as many watchers that I can send offers to, where in the past it's like a dozen to 20 a day that I can just send offers to, and I'm moving a lot that way. And I'm noticing not that many. I mentioned yesterday, I showed the Austin Martin. It had like 18 views in 4 days. Not even a single watcher, which is strange, because even if they're not like interested, they're not watching to actually buy it or get an offer, they may have one, or they're just monitoring, because it's the hottest player of 2021 Bowman. And so they're, watching it to see, okay, what's the market going to be for this particular card? So I looked into the analytics. So my analytics, and I'm going by impressions, and somebody said, well, impressions are, but the thing is, all of my metrics are down. So I think impressions gives you the best worldview of what's going on, because impressions are essentially eyeballs. Who's seeing the listings, and this is for promoted and organic. And so today, this is May, April, March. So February, March were like 7.5 million impressions during the month. April was down just below 7 million, like 6.9 million. So through yesterday, so almost the month of May, 26 days in May, 4 million. So that's drastic. That's a drastic decrease in impressions. And so we had some good debate. And so this was on Twitter. If you didn't see it, go back, because there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of good stuff, like, well, what could it be? Could it be this? Could it be that? So I do think the market, the baseball card market is dropping. Like it's cooling off. It's not drastic. It's not, cut in half, but the market is definitely cooling, and you can see it in several different capacities. I've talked about like the Michael Jordan rookie, and it has dropped in half. You look at PSA 9 sold prices, they've been, I think in like February, they were consistently at 50 grand. Now they're 25 to 30 grand. So we're seeing it with top cards. We're seeing it with, I think with 2021 Bowman, where like Austin Martin chromes, peaked at like $50. Now they're at 25. I think that was to be expected. But we're seeing a little bit of everything. And one thing I noticed at the card shows that I've been at, basketball, look at Ja Morant. And not even high end, just like base rookies of Ja Morant are dropping. I saw so many bargain boxes filled with basketball rookies, like the box I bought, almost 2,000 basketball rookies from the last 2 years, guys that they weren't hot out of the gate, but they could be hot next year. They could be hot in 2 years, and all of a sudden that 15-cent card is now a $5 or $10 card. So a year ago, you would not have seen bargain box basketball rookies, even pre-COVID. You wouldn't have seen that. Brian, should you sell your Vlad Jr. Chrome? I would sell right now, because Vlad Jr. is hot. Now, will he continue this streak? Maybe, maybe not. But in fact, I should probably look to see what I have for Vlad Jr., because he is super hot right now. I think he leads. Does he lead the league in home runs? If not, he's very close. So, we're seeing a market drop. So that, I think, has a little bit to do in just looking at my numbers. And I think my numbers represent, it's not like I'm selling 3 cards today, nothing tomorrow, 12 cards the next day. It's not like that's been like my consistent sales level on eBay. It's been consistently between 60 and 80 cards per day on average, over the past several months. And now it's dropping. Like my 90-day average is down to like 55, where it peaked in probably February, March at 75. People getting broken, no new stimmy. And yeah, and I think that's something that the card market wasn't going to stay at the levels it was at a few months ago over the winter, because, like George says, no new stimmies, and things are opening up. We can somebody mentioned in the Twitter string, well, now you can go buy cards at card shows. Card shows are starting back up. That's very true. So that's taking away some of the online sales. People are spending their card money on going to games, going to concerts, traveling. We can start doing that again, essentially, basically. So, that definitely has a little bit to do. But with a 50% drop in looking just solely at my numbers, I don't think there's a 50% drop in all of the hobby. I think there's pockets where that's the case, like the Jordan rookie, like Austin Martin's Chrome. I think there are certain aspects where that's the case, but overall, I think the biggest key to this decrease, this dramatic decrease in eyeballs, is the changes that eBay is making with item specifics. And I haven't updated a lot of my listings, so I'm sure that has part to do with it. It's almost like a slap on the hand. You didn't update your item recommendation. So I'm sure that's probably part of what I'm seeing. The Austin Martin, for example, I had everything. All the boxes were checked, everything. I followed the guidelines to a T, making sure everything was filled out, and it's still like getting no traction. So I think it was at 18 views within like 4 days. I did tweet a link, so that's going to boost it. And let's see. And I still haven't had any watchers, which is very surprising to me. And I'm thinking, it's a hot card. Should I just put it on auction? And now I'm thinking, if it's not gaining much traction, it has 87 views, but I did tweet the link out, so I would attribute at least 40 of those views to Twitter clicks. But if it's not getting any views as a buy it now, what if I put it on 99 cent auction and it's only getting 10 views a day, 5 views a day? It's going to sell for like 10. So that's why that's why I don't like 99 cent auction. It's the big A word, the algorithms. Like, well, is it are people going to see it? And those views, it's a promoted listing, so it should be. I don't get it. There's something wacky going on with all the changes that eBay is making in the trading card category. I don't like it. And here's the thing: if it results in good, like if it's good for buyers and sellers, it's good for everybody, then yeah, we can take this little bump in the road and it's a good thing. But this little bump in the road has become a big pothole. And it's not just like a week worth of slower sales and low eyeballs. It's been at least 3 weeks now. I mean, the entire month of May for me, in my store, and the eyeballs I'm not getting to my listings, is significant. So, it was by design. I mean, it's kind of been helpful, to an extent, because by design, I wanted to slow down my sales. I couldn't keep up with 70 sales per day, through the summer months, just with, travel. So I'm going to set up at a card show Sunday in Rockford, Illinois. The following weekend, Sunday, and then I'm going to take Monday off. I'm going to be out of town visiting my hometown for their Anawan Fun Days. And then there's just, we have a card show coming up the end of June, and then I'll probably hit Wrigley at some point in the next month or two. So just things come up. It's summer, and we didn't really have one last year. So by design, I wanted to skim back, but some of these cards I want to move. Like that Austin Martin, it's a higher dollar card, just kind of recoup some of the cost that went into the Bowman. So my design, my plan was no more 99 cent cards for the summer months, because it's not worth, I want to spend that time. I'm not cooped up in the house. It's not 20 degrees outside. I want to spend that time outdoors and doing things, not shipping 99 cent cards that I'm making a dime on. So net. So that was the plan. But I want to move some of these other cards, and that hasn't been happening. Speaking of Bowman, my Bowman retail boxes from MLB Shop. They broke loose out of, I think, Indianapolis, where they spent a couple nights. So they spent like 2 nights in Georgia. Then they went up to Independence, Kentucky, took in Kentucky for a couple nights. They went to Indianapolis. I think they only stayed overnight in Indianapolis. They reached New Berlin, Wisconsin. Oh no, that's where my blasters from Tops.com were stuck for about 5 days. New Berlin, Wisconsin is where my retail box is. So today's Thursday. So they'll probably be stuck all weekend in Milwaukee. So the updated tracking says delivery by Friday, which is tomorrow. They arrived in New Berlin yesterday. So they expect to take in the sites in New Berlin for a couple days. So we'll see. My Target boxes from last week did ship. I'll probably get those tomorrow. Those come much quicker. They go UPS, not FedEx. So we'll see. And then I got my shipping notification on my Javi Baez. I've got some big cards coming in. My Javi Baez artist proof from Project 70 is in transit, and then 2 of my top 2 cards off my want list were shipped out. So next week is going to be, or the next few days is going to be some big Cubs card mail days. Oh, behind me, I don't know if you probably can't see it. I need a darker dry erase marker, but my Cubs cardometer is updated. I finally sat down, opened up some of my remaining trade packages, 585,544 Cubs cards in the collection. So I think I'm now all caught up on my counting of the Cubs cards. Now I need to get those trades sent out. I've got a bunch of trade packages that need to go. I don't know if I finished the reason yesterday. So I've been having issues with printing from PayPal to my label printers. I have 2 label printers, and I can't for the life of me figure out how to get the labels printed correctly on PayPal. I figured out on so eBay. It's there's a few clicks involved, but PayPal, I've like racked my brain. I've Googled it. I've followed some of the steps, and it's just not printing right. So I'm still figuring out. So the printer next to my office computer upstairs, it stopped. It's like printing. It looks like it's out of ink. It's printing like it's out of ink. But we just bought a new color ink cartridge and a new black ink cartridge, and it did, like, I printed like 10 pages when we installed it. Didn't work. Like 2 days later, my wife prints something off and it worked perfectly. So then I went to print a label yesterday or 2 days ago, and it went back to and my wife said, yeah, I tried printing something and it did the same thing to me. So we're going to be in the market for a new printer upstairs. Tied with Adolis Garcia of the Rangers. Yeah. And Adolis Garcia, I actually sold a few of his cards I had for like, I think 99 cents, his first Bowman Chromes. So had I known, I would have held those back. George, he still has his rookie designation according to MLB. His rookie was in 2019. Only reason I know is because he was a Cardinal and his brother played here in Korea. I keep forgetting we are in a bubble. I always want to hold 1-2 cards of big prospects and rookies, but chances are the market will never be better for some of these players, so I need to sell. I'm kind of Brian. I've got, anytime a player gets hot, I sell. And sometimes I sell early, and sometimes it's timed right. I sold a lot of Juan Soto and Ronald Acuña's early, but I've timed others correctly. It's kind of, I don't know. I think the junk wax era burned me, because I think everybody is going to be Kevin Moss, and it's like, oh, this won't last. In a lot of cases you look, and so there's so much like hype on prospects, and it's like, well, like, I don't even know a comparison of like Jason Dominguez. And I don't know what his comp is, but say his comp is, I don't even know what position he plays. Say his comp is like, I don't know, Don Mattingly. And you look, and that's probably a bad comp because we're in different eras. I don't know. But it's like you look at player, what if he's the next, say in football, Joe Burrow. Say Joe Burrow. Well, he could be the next Phillip Rivers. Look at Phillip Rivers' rookie card prices. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. And you see that across the board with, it's like, well, here's his comps. He could be the next. And then you look at their card prices. It's like, well, if he's going to be the next, why am I paying $150 for his rookie card when, the guy he's being compared to, his rookie, and I'm not even talking junk wax era, but like 10, 15, 20 years ago, his rookie cards are $5. And I don't know, maybe those are undervalued. I don't know, but that's just always been something that's made me laugh. But I always, if a player gets hot, I always sell. Sometimes you miss the mark. Sometimes you play it right. Hypothetical, if you went back and removed all current listings and relisted with some new metadata fields, would that help? Probably. But I just don't want to. I mean, I don't want to take that time, and that's just a waste of time in my eyes. Especially so many of my listings are $1.50, $2, $4. Like, it's just not worth the time to go back and relist when I have stacks and stacks of other cards. And it's to me, it's and doing like 99-cent cards, like even in the winter months when I have time, when I'm cooped up in the winter in Wisconsin, it's like, do I want to spend all this extra time filling out this extra data for a 99-cent sale? Now, the goal is not to sell one 99-cent card. It's to attract buyers to buy 20 99-cent cards. And so that, I'm not making a dime a card. I'm making closer to 99 cents per card, 60 or 70 cents per card. And then, times 20, it adds up. But what I came to find out was I was getting more and more 99-cent sales, only 99-cent sales. So that's why. And it's like, if that's the case, I don't want to spend all this time filling out extra data. And I'll just stick to, lower volume, higher dollar sales. It's because all of the old metadata has been removed and are not special fields. Your printer is against you. Yeah. So Brad, I tried printing in color. I tried printing in black and white. I did the self clean on the printer. I did test pages. Nothing worked. My printer is against me. Dude, I've never sold anything at the right time. Seriously. If I'm selling, it's a solid hold for about a month longer. It can be hard. And I don't know, and especially in the last year and a half, it's been really hard to time the markets correctly. The only thing that I'm usually pretty good with is new releases. If you open, sell right away, sell within the first 5 to 6 days, because that's like, for the most part, that single sales will not be any higher than at that point, unless some random player that's, not hyped at release breaks out. And then, of course, if you hold it for 3 years, players break out. And then a lot of sealed stuff. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. It is Thursday. I think when I go back to the office, at least I'll know the days. Like working from home, they just all blend together. I think market timing is often easier if you have bulk. You can test the waters with a few occasionally. That's a great point, because that's where I found a lot of where I've hit at the right time on peaks, is because I've had boxes of 2018, 2019 Bowman in random boxes, because they weren't the Ronald Acuñas or the Wander Francos and the Jason Dominguez. It was everybody else. They were stuffed in a box, and hey, 3 years down the road, oh, hey, a Bowman box. I'm going to go through, and all of a sudden, hey, there's Jared Kelenic. there's Julio Rodriguez, and it's like, damn, these are good. These are worth a lot now. So yeah, that bulk definitely is definitely easier to time those markets because you have that stuff just kind of stashed away. So that's it. Thank you. Check out Brad coming up at 8 o'clock. So in about 20 minutes on his channel, Texas Card Dude. Have a great Thursday, and we'll chat tomorrow.